Tonight for the beautiful city of Denver, Colorado, the Rockies embark on their final homestand of the year. They'll play 4 against the Arizona Diamondbacks and 3 against the Chicago Cubs before finishing the season out on the road. It is an absolutely perfect night for baseball after the heat of San Diego and the cold temperatures of San Francisco. Tonight is ideal. Welcome, everybody. With Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. We have not seen the Diamondbacks in a while. They're still on the fringes of contention for that final wild card spot. They'd have to be special these final couple of weeks, but they have a special guy we'll talk about in a little bit going on the mound today, and they're starting to swing the bats consistently.
Well, and I think that's what's kept them in this race. And they still don't have the E by their name being eliminated in the wild card. Yes, 5 game backs, 4 or 5 teams in front of you. A lot of hills to jump over to get to that, but they're still playing meaningful baseball here at the end of September, and they've got some young guys that are being able to do it. Paul Goldschmidt, of course, Miguel Montero always seems to play well against the Rockies. Their pitching has been pedestrian. They have 18 blown saves, which is a lot out of the bullpen, but they're finding ways to get it done still with some injuries and inconsistencies.
Yeah, they do have a formidable middle of the order with Montero swinging the bat well. Justin Upton also swinging the bat very well right now. When we return, we'll talk about a young pitcher for the Diamondbacks who is an all-star this year. May also be a Rookie of the Year. Colorado coming off a disappointing 1-6 road trip. Back upstairs with Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Wade Miley will take the baseball today. Drew Pomerantz will have it for the Rockies. Wade Miley has 15 victories. Mentioned he was an all-star, and this is rookie season. I'll tell you what, he has an outstanding chance at being Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Jason Jennings in 2002, when he was Rookie of the Year, had 16 wins. So that just shows you what Wade Miley is looking at this year against the Rockies. Numbers are very, very good. .82 ERA. And for Wade Miley, this guy was a supplemental pick. And it shows because he's got the fastball. He's not afraid to use it both sides of the plate. Big overhand curveball and a changeup. But what he does is he attacks the hitters. He knows as soon as he gets the ball what he's going to do with the next pitch. And I think that is the key for any pitcher to show the confidence when you're on the hill that it's my turn. I've got the baseball. Good luck.
Well, an old school fella by the name of Don Baylor loves this kid. To your point, says he gets the baseball, he throws it, he's not afraid. Wade Miley, 15-10 for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's pitching in a tough park, a park that gives up a lot of runs. The Rockies and Diamondbacks getting ready to go. Come on back to Coors Field with us. This is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Fireworks night tonight, so the ball game starting a little bit earlier this evening. Drew Pomerantz is on the hill. He's getting loose. And Adam Eaton, who had a special day yesterday in a 6-5 loss at home to the Padres, he hit his first career home run. Kirk Gibson's lineup will have the young man Eaton out of Miami of Ohio leading things off. Then Aaron Hill, who's had a terrific year. Justin Upton, 3 hits yesterday. Paul Goldschmidt, 40-plus doubles. Miguel Montero. Chris Johnson, who came over earlier in the year from Houston. Gerardo Parra will be in left field. John McDonald, the veteran at shortstop, and then Wade Miley.
Well, the numbers for Drew Pomerantz, 1-9, 506 here at Coors Field. His 9 starts, 0-5 with the 498. He's got to figure out how to pitch here. He does have 1 career victory, and that was last year. Second start against Arizona, and it's really up to Drew tonight to figure out how to get to that knuckle curveball, because that was a pitch that it seemed like down in San Diego they were seeing out of the hand. And you can, as a hitter, when you start to recognize pitches like that, you can sit on just the fastball.
Well, defensively, Pomerantz will have behind him Andrew Brown in left, Dexter Fowler in center, Matt McBride in right, Nelson Herrera, Rutledge, and Pacheco. So again, Herrera at short, Rutledge at second. Willeen Rosario played first yesterday, is behind the plate. Cargo, not surprisingly, not in the lineup. Had to leave very early in the ball game yesterday. Re-aggravated a slight hamstring strain. So Adam Eaton will lead things off. Pesky guy. You get that moniker anytime you're under 6 foot and you're hitting the leadoff role, but he runs well. He is a guy that puts the bat on the ball pretty frequently.
And you know that as an infielder, so shorten up. If it's hit to you, get rid of it quickly. Don't take the extra half step to deliver the baseball.
Yeah, so he's trying to sell that he got hit by that pitch.
That's why he wears the elbow guard on his left elbow.
He's just 2 years removed from college baseball. He's moved quickly. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed 1-2. Fastball at 91.
Well, there's 4 left-handers, including the pitcher Wade Miley, in the lineup today for Arizona. And left-handers hitting just 155 off of Drew.
Now, normally Chris Young would be in there, another right-handed bat. He's got a quad strain. He is available to pinch hit. Outside 2-2. Cut fastball. Adam Eaton is an Ohio kid who grew up idolizing Kenny Lofton. He was quite a player with the Indians. That was his team growing up.
Well, Kenny Lofton was a leadoff hitter. He was scrappy, but he could hit the ball out of the ballpark. He had that surprising pop for a leadoff hitter. But he created havoc when he got on the bases because he could steal a base, he could bunt, do whatever you needed him to do.
Drafted after his junior year at Miami of Ohio. And now he calls time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Home plate umpire is Corey Blazer. He's a local product. Chris Caccione's at first. He too lives in Denver. Jeff Nelson at second. Bill Welke at third. And this is bounced to Johnny Herrera. He played that position for a long time in the big leagues. His footwork is impeccable. That was the word I was going to use. And his feet were already set to throw the baseball before he actually got it in the leather.
Because he read the hop. And so watch his feet. He shuffles, and then goes. And that's what you need to do. And that just comes from experience. But Jonathan, you can put him anywhere out in the infield, and he makes the play look routine and easy.
Talking to Don Baylor about him before the ball game, and as you see Aaron Hill at the plate, Groove was saying you have to be a special guy to be the 24th, 25th guy, and I equated to basketball. It can't just be the next most talented guy to be your 11th or 12th guy on the bench. It's got to be a guy who has talent, can do something for you when called upon. But most nights in the NBA, the 11th or 12th guy's not playing. But you don't want a disruptive influence down there.
No, but and also, how does he practice? Does he go out there and practice hard every day in case there is a need for him to go out there and perform?
Right. And that's Johnny Herrera to a T. He just says everything the right way. 3 balls and a strike.
I always think of it as the manager has enough to worry about with his pitching and his bullpen and his starters.
And maybe a prima donna superstar too.
Don't let him think that he has to worry about you too when you're that guy.
Yeah. Because you know what? You'll deal with the guy making $15 million.
Right. You'll put up with a lot.
Yeah. You don't put up your tolerance is not as great for the guys. It's just a reality. The guys toward the end of the bench. Aaron Hill, 297 average, 23 home runs and 70 driven in. Not going to find too many second basemen anywhere that have put up those kinds of numbers this year.
Good trade for Arizona in Toronto.
And this ball in the air to center field. Dexter will move up and make the catch. That'll bring up Justin Upton. You know, Upton at times gets criticized. I've always liked him a lot. And one of the things about Upton, who's put expectations on players. He should be now. He's still a young guy. Should be 35 home run guy, 30 steal guy. It takes some time, and he goes out there and he plays every day. He's 4th in the league in runs scored.
And with 95, and with Justin Upton earlier this year had the thumb problem. So he had half of his year battling a thumb issue when you're trying to hit. Not easy.
On the inside corner, 1-1.
Wayne was also called out by the owner when we were down in Arizona a month or so ago.
Yep. Outside, 2-1. Upton had a special day on August 25th. He celebrated his 25th birthday. To give you an idea, we've been saying his name for a while, but he arrived very quickly out of high school. He celebrated it with his first career inside the park home run. Did he go? No swing. 3-1.
So his 25th birthday inside the park home run for number 100.
Exactly. That's a pretty neat way to get it, because if you remember, BJ and Justin were both sitting on 99 at the same time. BJ won a ball game last night with a 3-run home run for Arizona, or for Tampa. So Upton, a 2-out walk, and that pattern for Drew Pomeranz continues. Really had an opportunity to have a pretty efficient first inning, and now he's walked the guy, and he's at 19 pitches, and he's got to deal with Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, and a big power guy like Goldschmidt.
A reminder, coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. You know the drill by now. Text the word Toyota, followed by a space, and your questions, comments to 720-720. You'll be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. On the outside corner for a strike. Arizona took 2 of 3 from San Diego at home. Yesterday mentioned they lost 6-5. That snapped a little 3-game winning streak.
Well, San Diego jumped out to an early lead. They got a 3-run home run from Guzman in the first inning, and Arizona was playing catch up the rest of the game.
This is a big, strong guy, Paul Goldschmidt, but do not be deceived. He runs pretty well. And this ball is hit well to left center field and deep. Brown going back, is going to run out of room. It is off the wall. Around third comes Upton. He'll score easily on the 41st double for Paul Goldschmidt. 1-0 Arizona.
A 2-out walk, and then the 2-out double by Goldschmidt, and you're down 1-0. But the power that he shows, I mean, this is a fastball. They wanted to come inside even more, cut it to get it onto the label, but it didn't from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. The head down, the full extension, and then Karam's off the wall to the right. Dexter Fowler got over there, got it back in, but Goldschmidt, strong young man.
That'll bring up Miguel Montero. Leads all catchers with 85 RBIs. He's one shy of his career high. And Kirk Gibson, who was the ultimate gamer, as you know, Huey, he's going to grind this thing to the end. Kevin Towers was quoted earlier saying, you know, we probably got to win them all just about to make the postseason. Well, Montero tonight making his 19th straight start behind the plate.
He said there's a time to rest, and it's not now. I'm going to go out there. I feel like I have the best shot to help this ball club win. Sitting .351 with runners in scoring position. I mean, what else can you ask from this guy except Skip, write my name in the lineup. I want to play. And in this day and age, when guys are sometimes asking out of the lineup, it's kind of refreshing to see a guys. It's okay. It's the end of September.
How about on that list there, Huey, that you just mentioned? 3 catchers: Miguel Montero, Buster Posey, who's been phenomenal, and Yadier Molina.
And that's a demanding position because you have to work with the pitchers. You're catching every day in the heat, the humidity. For Molina in St. Louis, Posey has it easier because he does play first base some, but these other 2 guys, they don't.
1-2 on Montero. Goldschmidt at second, 1-0 Arizona here in the first. And he struck him out with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. But a 2-out walk to Upton, and then Goldschmidt's 41st double, and Arizona has a 1-0 advantage. And now we'll see the Rockies on offense. Dexter Fowler will lead things off. He'll bring a .302 average into the ballpark tonight. He's got 13 home runs, and he's driven in 53. Josh Rutledge again will bat second. He's kind of settled into that spot. Jordan Pacheco and Cargo not available. Typically bats third. That's where he's situated this evening. Willeen Rosario, the club leader in home runs with 25. Chris Nelson coming off National League Player of the Week honors from a few days back. Andrew Brown, Matt McBride, and Johnny Herrera, 1-8. Wade Miley making his 30th start. He's looking for win number 16.
And remember, this guy didn't go into the starting rotation until April 23rd. So he missed maybe 3 or 4 starts early in the season while they was working him out of the bullpen. 2010, he was the Diamondbacks minor league pitcher of the year. Already talked about what he throws. It's fastball, cut it inside to left-handers, big curveball, and a changeup.
And a base hit up the middle. Dexter Fowler not wasting any time. So Fowler, who had a tough road trip, 2 for 20, starts out the homestand with a knock up the middle.
And this is what you're taught to do as a hitter. When a guy's cross-firing or throwing across his body, try to stay centered. And Dexter did with that ball up the middle.
Rutledge broke out of a slump on the road trip. He had 5 hits and 25 at bats, but of course at one point he was 0 for 24 at the start of the trip, which overlapped some of the work here in Denver. He ended up with 5 RBIs with those 5 hits, including his first career Grand Slam.
Grand Slam helps that 5 RBI mark.
Yes, it does. Had a triple and a double as well on the trip. Double came yesterday. He was 2 for 5 batting leadoff yesterday.
A double right down the third baseline.
Now he's quick on the inner half. Here's the 1-1. And that's right down the third base line. Right on cue. Fowler out third. Richie Dower's going to send him. Dexter will score easily. Rutledge has tied it up with a double. That's a pretty quick counterpunch.
And that's what you have to do when a club gets that first run in the first inning, to answer the bell when you get up to bat. And the single by Dexter Fowler, and Josh pulls that fastball again by keeping his hands inside the baseball. It wasn't an out and around swing. Dexter can trot home easily.
Well, that matches the Rockies' run total against Wade Miley this year. They only had one run in over 11 innings of work.
Well, they had only a 135 batting average against.
Jordan Pacheco at the plate.
Jordan was in this situation yesterday with Rutledge at second base, and he got out in front of a pitch and grounded it to shortstop. Look for him to hit the ball to the right side, make the adjustment.
Just like that. Boy, you're on tonight. Hit the ball down the left field line. Hit the ball to second base. Well, all right, we got Rosario coming up. What do you want?
I can say it, but it's up to these guys to do it.
Well, I'm just asking, what do you want them to do here?
Well, I think a sacrifice fly would be in order, if not a home run.
Okay. Wayne, Huey wants you to either hit one out or at the very least hit one deep to the outfield.
Well, you're going to have the infield playing back, so you got help from Jordan Pacheco doing his job. Josh Rutledge is at third base with one out. You have different options. First pitch slider.
Looked like he went, and he did. Rosario yesterday struggled on defense at first base. Didn't affect his bat, though. He had 3 more hits, 3 for 4 yesterday.
And for a young guy to separate offense and defense, that's hard to do. You guys will usually take one with the other.
Held up on that swing. It's 1-1. How about just a solid single to left? Will that work for you?
That'll work. It's an RBI.
Rosario's 67th RBI, and the Rockies have a 2-1 lead.
When he has a bat in his hand, magical things happen. Four-seam fastball out of the hand from Wade Miley. Everything is in sync with that swing. Down through the ball, higher finish.
Chris Nelson. Ball 1 on Chris. Nelly yesterday was 0 for 4. He had 3 punch outs in the game after back-to-back 2-hit ball games. Off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, some guys that have an opportunity to hit 300, and that's a magical number, as you all know, in the game of baseball. And Chris Nelson's one of those guys. He had the average to 297 prior to yesterday. He's down to 292. But if he gets hot here in the final 13 ball games, stays hot, I should say, he has an opportunity. Dexter's over the 300 mark. Jordan Pacheco. Josh Rutledge in more than 200 at bats, hitting in the mid 290s.
And it is. Those are the numbers as a hitter that you look at. And even there's nothing to scoff at 295, 297, but 300 looks better on the back of your baseball card.
Well, you know what, Huey? It's like when you go for that cup of coffee and it's $4.99. It sounds a lot better than when it's $5.10, right?
Yes, it does.
It's only $4.99. To third, and gets dropped twice, once by Johnson, once by McDonald. That's a do-or-die play for Chris Johnson. I'm sure they'll give him an error on that, but that's a tricky play, isn't it?
With the high hop, you have to come get it. You cannot sit back on this ball at all. Chopping right off the plate, keep coming, but it was at that edge of the grass, dirt. How high is it going to go? And it went higher off that grass than you think it's going to as an infielder. John McDonald's backing him up. When you do or die, you hope that you get it on the short hop and not the in-between hop.
They have not ruled yet, and now I just got word they're going to give Chris an infield hit.
Thank you.
Yeah. That'll help in the pursuit of a 300 batting average. 2 on, 1 out. Andrew Brown at the plate.
With that hit, Chris is at 295 now.
And Chris is over 300 at bats, 302 at bats now. That's why what Rutledge has done and just the experience is invaluable. And with all the injuries, Josh playing every day, he's got 220 at bats.
That's what's the best part about it. It's over 200 because when guys get called up most of the time in September, it's for 100 at bats. So those numbers can be skewed. And then when you go into spring training, you say, well, he hit 312 or whatever the number might be, but it's not over a greater number of at bats.
Right, and we'll handle this question, I'm sure, quite a bit next year. We'll try to answer for those that are going to ask it right now. Josh Rutledge cannot be a rookie next year.
130 at bats. So he's eclipsed that.
2-2 on Andrew Brown.
But for Chris Nelson, if you take those numbers out, what he's doing, 295, 9 home runs, 47 RBIs. If you take that out to 600 at bats, those are great numbers.
Good pitch by Miley, and he strikes out Brown. Second out of the inning. First strikeout from Miley, and that'll bring up Matt McBride. See, I'm thinking if McBride wasn't a big league baseball player, it'd be a pretty good, detective show. Detective Matt McBride. You buying that?
No. I see where you're going. It just rolls off the tongue.
All right, movie trivia for you. Foul ball. I think it was J.T. Lancer. Who was that?
No idea.
Remember the movie The Big Chill?
Yeah.
Remember Tom? Oh man, one with a big.
You're on your own.
Somebody help me out in the truck. Behringer's character.
Tom Berenger.
Yeah, Tom Berenger's character. He was an actor. Isn't it J.T. Lancer? I love The Big Chill. That's a good movie. 0-1 on McBride, and Matt hits a high fly ball to left center field. Gerardo Parra, Gold Glover, waiting for it, and he makes the catch. Rockies have a very good first inning. It's their best inning typically. They scored 2. They're up 2-1.
Fan Friday of the season, and it's an exciting time for Barbara and Bill Ormsby, the 60 millionth paid fan in Rockies history. How about that?
That is super.
How many games have you been to?
We've been to half of the home games this year. Yeah, we're sharing season tickets with our son and daughter. So
you guys and your Denver natives have been to many Rockies games.
All right, yeah. 40 games a year at least.
Who's your favorite Rockies player of all time?
Of all time? Oh, gosh.
Tough question.
Galarraga.
Andres, the big
Way
cat.
back, yeah.
How about you, Bill?
Cookie.
Aaron Cook. Well, congratulations. Enjoy your VIP seats and your 2013 season tickets. The 60 millionth paid fan in Rockies history, guys.
Congratulations. That's a whole lot of folks. 60 million. 60 million in 20 years. Well, we have a special AT&T trivia question concerning fan support we'll get to in a little bit. Drew Pomerantz working to Chris Johnson here in the second inning. Johnson, one of the many that have made an exodus from Houston this year.
A special program for all the people that have left Houston.
I think the front office needs a program for the guys that are in Houston.
They're not only going to be leaving Houston, they're changing leagues next year. Going to the American League, the Astros.
They are.
Rockies are going to play in back-to-back series. Two down in Houston, 2 back here at Coors Field.
Houston becomes the Rockies, and I put this in quotation, natural rivals.
Okay.
You're giving me that peculiar look. It doesn't make sense to you?
No.
Come on. We're just on the other side of town. 2 balls and a strike. Outside corner, strike 3. Second strikeout for Drew Pomerantz. That'll bring up Gerardo Parra. All right, here's our AT&T trivia question concerning attendance. Back in 1993, what was the Rockies' home attendance? Of course, they were playing at old Mile High Stadium the first 2 years before this beautiful facility was open.
And you can't just say a lot. It's got to be more number specific.
It is a lot, though. I mean, that would.
Well, I understand
that would somewhat
that.
answer the question. That would be a general answer.
Right.
We can say it's a big league record. 0-1 on Parra. You know, Parra had the great year last year, good offensive year, wins a Gold Glove. And
what's he get for his efforts?
What he got for his efforts was Jason Kubel.
4th outfield position.
Yeah, Jason Kubel was acquired from Minnesota, and Parra, as Jeff said, became the 4th outfielder because Kubel went out and had a terrific year. In the midst of a terrific year.
But there's not a scout or a general manager that would not trade for Parra, because he can hit. He has speed. 13 stolen bases, as you mentioned. He won a Gold Glove last year. Strong arm.
Well, there's 3 arms that Richie Dower, the Rockies' third base coach, will not run on. Parra with a base hit. One of them plays for the Rockies, so he doesn't have to worry about that unless it's an inter-squad game in March. That's Carlos Gonzalez. The other 2, Nate Shearholtz, who used to be with the Giants and is now with Philadelphia, and Gerardo Parra. Parra not only has a great arm, he is very accurate.
And that's what won him the Gold Glove, in my mind, is the accuracy. Because we've seen strong arms, but once they let go of it, no telling where it ends up.
John McDonald, the former Blue Jay, takes a strike. I'll tell you who made a couple of good throws on that road trip, surprised some people a little bit. I know one scout said, I didn't realize he could throw like that, was Andrew Brown.
Play at home.
He was 1 for 2, and both were close plays. He made the guy he threw out at the plate. He had to run about 75 feet to his right to the line and made just a perfect one-hop throw to Rosario.
With your momentum going not towards home, but to the line and plant, and then accuracy with arm strength. Those are the ones that, as you said, will get the scouts to say, I had as great at this, but I'm going to bump it up.
Move it up a notch. One and one on Johnny Mack, John McDonald. And McDonald shortened up, pitches outside, 2-1. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Pomerantz with 1 out and a man on in the second, 38 pitches in. So unfortunately, he's on pace again for a 4-inning stint unless he can flip it around here. Rockies and Diamondbacks meeting for the 12th time this year. Arizona's won 6 of the first 11 matchups. Rockies will finish the season down
last
in
3 games.
Phoenix.
October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
In Jeff Houston's home state.
Just down the road from where I grew up.
Runner going, throw is into center field. Johnny Herrera was late getting there. It didn't matter because that was ball 4. Second walk allowed by Pomerantz, and that'll bring up Wade Miley in a bunting situation.
The catcher has to go through with this throw to second base, because you can't wait to hear what the umpire says. And by the time he does that, it could be too late. Didn't hurt Willeen, though, with the throw to center field. Dexter backing it up. Need to have good communication on this bunt. Drew Pomerantz will have the line over towards third. He's not bunting.
He's taking a hack. Managers manage differently in this ballpark. First of all, Jim Tracy will tell you, and any manager that spent a lot of time here, Bruce Bochy, Bud Black, you almost don't start managing until the 6th inning. You kind of see, all right, where Don Baylor, all right, where are we now in the 6th inning? But the other thing is supposed to playing for 1 run, a lot of times you prefer to play for the bigger inning because this park relinquishes so many runs.
Yeah, and maybe if you had Willie Bloomquist leading off, a right-handed hitter, instead of Adam Eaton left on left, you would play it in a more traditional bunt mode with Willie and his experience hitting in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, that's a great point. They go back to the bunt, see if it stays on now, the 1-2 count.
I would keep it on because I wouldn't want him to hit into a double play if I'm managing the Diamondbacks.
Bunt's still on 2-2, as you thought it might be. Willie Bloomquist, by the way, has battled a lower back issue and has not played much the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Just one pinch hit appearance for Willie.
Good player, Willie Bloomquist. 2-2.
Well, with the injury to Stephen Drew that they had earlier, I mean, to carry over from last year to fill in at shortstop tells you about his athleticism.
Stephen Drew traded not all that long ago to Oakland, so he's in the middle of a pennant race in the American League, and Miley doesn't get the bunt down. That's a strikeout, 2 outs. And Adam Eaton will come up. Eaton hit a 2-hopper to short, leading off the ball game.
I wonder how many baseball cards he gets in the mail about the other Adam Eaton, the pitcher.
I thought you were a big right-handed pitcher. What happened? Get sawed off somewhere? Two to 1 Colorado. Top of 2.
Well, after the Diamondbacks, the Chicago Cubs come into Coors Field to close out the season. September 25th is when it starts through the 27th. Call 1-800-388-ROCK. Go online to ColoradoRockies.com. But don't miss the Chicago Cubs in their first and only appearance in the last 3 games of the season for the Rockies here at home.
Two 2-0 on Eaton. That's a foul tip. 2-1. Your old team, the Cubs, tripped up the Cardinals today, 5-4.
Late.
Phillies leading in the 7th, 5-1 over Atlanta. Washington clinched a playoff spot last night, leading 2-1 over Milwaukee in the 6th inning. It's 3-1 on Eaton.
4 different clubs now Davey Johnson has taken to the postseason.
That's something, huh? You have good players, you got a chance. Dodgers and Reds tied at 1 in the 6th inning. 3-2. Cincinnati clinched 2 days ago. We wish Dusty Baker all the best. Dusty sitting this one out tonight as well. Undergoing tests for an irregular heartbeat.
Chris Spire running the club in his absence.
Chris and Dusty have been together a long time. Runners going and another walk. And there's 3 walks allowed by Drew Pomeranz, and now the bases are loaded for a right-handed hitter, Aaron Hill. A right-handed hitter with plenty of pop.
23 home runs for Aaron Hill. Aaron will cheat on a fastball, inner third. He's guessing right. He'll pull it from left center down the left field line.
.94 on that fastball. He reached back for a little something extra. We spoke about this in Pomerantz's last start. He throws his fastball the first time through the lineup 88% of the time. We'll mix it up a little bit more second time through, but he is fastball dominant. That was obviously his curveball. And that's something he needs to work on. And you touched on it earlier. He does not throw his curveball consistently enough for strikes that if you were up there against him, you just eliminate it.
Well, and the number that you were talking about, 79–80% of the time that he's going to throw a fastball. That's third most in all of baseball. Bartolo Colon, who's suspended, but he was number 1. And even when you get to 2 strikes, he still throws his fastball.
1-2.
Well received from Wallin to hold that pitch for Corey Blazer to call a strike.
Rockies leading 2-1, top of the second inning. Arizona has the bases loaded. Parra singled. He's at third. McDonald a walk at second. Eaton a walk. He is at first. And Eaton runs very well at first base. And this is line towards shallow right. McBride will come on and make the catch. So through Pomerantz, works out of it. Diamondbacks leave him loaded. 2-1 Colorado. What a beautiful night in the Mile High City. Rockies will play 7 more, including this one at home, before finishing the season out on the road. High school football returns to Root Sports on October the 5th, and the votes are in. You've selected Cherokee Trail at Cherokee Trail. It's an Air Squad game, folks. You're really going to enjoy it, though. No. Cherokee Trail at Cherry Creek as the first game this season. So on October 5th, you'll see the Bruins hosting Cherokee Trail, and stick around as we cover the best matchups leading up to the 4A and 5A championships. The best in high school football right here on Root Sports. Miguel Montero had an opportunity to make that catch on the pop-up by Johnny Herrera.
Yeah, but he's not going to get any help from the Rockies dugout. If he's over by his, sure, that time you've got room. Not there.
Now, just a quick question, rules question. We talk so much about replacement NFL officials. He pops that ball up in the air twice. a little known rule, if he had popped it up a third time and Carney Lansford caught it, only Carney, it would be an out. The hitting coach for the visiting.
No.
Bounced up the middle. Second baseman Aaron Hill throws out Johnny.
No, these umpires know the rules.
Was that an inference there? Were you implying that?
Some of the games I've watched, not sure on in the NFL. I'll just leave it at that.
Some interesting spots. Drew Pomerantz a home run this year. Wade Miley's first pitch south of the knees, ball 1. Rockies a very disappointing 31-43 record at home. And as we have discussed many times, for the Rockies to be a postseason team, they have to be a minimum 50-win team at Coors Field.
07-09, there's 52. So that tells you where you have to. That's your benchmark.
And they're going to fall way short of that.
Every club, when you break spring training, that's what you talk about as a club.
This ball's well struck, right center field. Pomerantz off the base of the wall, and Drew will gallop into second with a double. He came very close to hitting his second home run, matching his buddy Alex White. There's got to be like a steak dinner up for grabs, something.
Well, there always is a competition among pitchers. Who is the best hitting pitcher? Every pitcher will say they are, but the proof's in the pudding.
Listen, Pomerantz is big enough to hit it far.
Well, in his home run, he pulled that one. So if he would have hit one to opposite field in the right center field gap, that would have really showed you the power that he has.
Yeah. Dexter had a base hit his first time up, right back up the middle. Fowler owns a home run against Miley. No July swoon for Dex this year. The swoon was a March and part of April swoon before.
First couple weeks of April.
Before he straightened things out. And he's been, if you think about it, really from beginning of May on, he's been very, very consistent, very steady.
The talk in spring training is the extra 10 pounds and the strength that he got this winter. Was it going to help him in his swing? And you have to learn your swing. When you put on some weight and you're stronger and things you did before, you don't have to do that now. You don't have to cheat to get to pitches.
Well, there's a rumor flying around that you're going to go and work out with Tulowitzki and Giambi in Vegas this winter in preparation for another broadcasting season.
I'll go watch him. I'll go watch him.
You go watch him.
I'll go watch him. But I'm not going to partake in that.
You're done
at
with
all.
that?
I'm done with it. I had 15 years of it. I don't need another one.
That's going to go foul also.
Man has to know his limitations.
Of which I have many. 5 hits for the Rockies, 2 for the Diamondbacks. Strike 3 on Fowler, and he's not pleased with Corey Blazer. That is the second strikeout for Wade Miley. Josh Rutledge, who doubled in a run, coming up. Drew Goodman back upstairs with the workout king, Jeff Houston. I'm a little disappointed. I thought, do you know what? I thought that the 2 we could go. We'd do maybe bring Charlie, Felix, shoot a feature, and work out with the big boys in Vegas. Line drive. Oh, what a play! It's short by John McDonald. That saves a run.
Well, I'll give it a shot if you're going. I'm not going at it alone.
We'll talk. Nice play by McDonald. Rockies leading 2-1 as we go to the third. Is appropriate for tonight because the Rockies celebrating their 60 millionth fan through the turnstiles in 20 years. What was the Rockies' home attendance in their inaugural season of 1993 at Mile High Stadium? If you had 4,483,350, you are absolutely right. That's an average of 56,751 every night. Don Baylor was a skipper. He's in the house tonight. Think about that. Every night, you had 56,000 plus. I mean, there were many nights where it wasn't just the opener. There was 80,000. I mean, there were a lot of nights, 65,000, 64. I mean, football crowds on a Tuesday night for the Houston Astros. It was wild.
People coming from all over the Rocky Mountain region to attend games.
Absolutely, and they still do. And that's why the Rockies own every single attendance record in the history of baseball. And even this year, which has been, we need not tell you how disappointing a season this has been and how difficult a season it's been, 58-91, but the fans still pour out 35,000 a night.
Beautiful stadium that looks as good today as it when it opened up back in 1995.
Yeah, Kevin Kahn and his group do a sensational job. Beautiful facility, well maintained. We hear all the time when we move around, you know, those folks in purple, the ushers, how well they treat and take care of the folks coming through the turnstiles every night. 1-2 on Jay Up, as he's known, Justin Upton. He walked and scored in the first inning. Walked with 2 outs, and then Paul Goldschmidt doubled him home with a 420-foot double. Good idea, trying to get Upton to chase up. 2-2.
Change the eye level. Now you've got the fastball up. You can work the fastball down and in if you want, or go to the knuckle curve.
So I'd like to see the curveball. So would Willeen.
Drew shook him off.
3-2.
He's not finishing out front enough with this fastball. Saw the hop and the recoil. That tells you it wasn't the proper finish. Willeen keeps calling for the curveball, and Drew keeps shaking it off.
Outside, he walked Upton again. That is 4 walks. Tune in tomorrow night after the Rockies game for Rockies All Access. Dex and Nelly, both from the state of Georgia. We'll see how Rockies outfielder Dexter Fowler and third baseman Chris Nelson's baseball journeys brought them both to the same big league club. And hit the airwaves with Dex at his weekly radio show on 102.3 ESPN. It's Rockies All Access, Dex and Nelly tomorrow after the game. And that nearly went to the backstop. Rosario is going to go to the mound.
2 other times this year, Drew's had 4 walks. One game against the Dodgers back in April, and then another one against Miami in August. Out of the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode, just a 2-seam fastball right out of the hand of Drew Pomeranz. Grab it across the horseshoe, but the finish was too high. He let it go too soon instead of reaching out with the release point.
One and one the count. 64 pitches in. There goes Upton, and Rosario's throw into center field again, and now Upton pops up and will go to third, and it's another error on Willeen, unfortunately. And for Rosario, that is his 15th error.
First movement for Justin Upton, and he takes off. Willeen Rosario lets the ball fly. Now watch the technique from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. His feet should be pointing this way, not that way. And when you do that, it's like a hitter that the hips open up too soon, and you don't get everything behind the throw, and it's just the mechanical issue of when you throw the baseball. Your feet and your shoulders have to point to where you're throwing.
Well, Willeen struggling tonight to throw the ball through to second, and Pomeranz struggling to get the ball down and in the strike zone consistently. That pitch swung through. 3-2. 4 walks in 2+ innings. Nobody out. And you're almost at the 70 pitch mark.
Alex White.
Long foul ball.
Yeah, Alex White will be next up for the Rockies. We could have somebody to get through this inning, but Alex was the hybrid.
Alex moved to the bullpen after his last start, if you missed it. Goldschmidt fouls that one off. Arizona's always an interesting team in the offseason. They tend to be somewhat active. We'll see what they do this offseason. And that's walk number 5.
That is a season high for Drew.
You know, which we've said this throughout the second half, Jeff, and I feel like we sound like a broken record. But you want, with any young player, whether they be a pitcher or position player, you want to point to little places where you say, okay, there's some growth there, even if it's a small amount of growth. And Drew Pomerantz still a young, very young pitcher. Alec White, young pitcher. Tyler Chatwood's the youngest player on the 25-man roster. He's 22 still. But you'd like to see more signs of progress this year.
Right, because these guys also have to understand as they go into the offseason what's expected of them moving forward into next year. And what do you have? Because right now you're looking at it, if you're Drew, you're looking at a 1-9 record. I mean, those stick with you. Those are on the back of the baseball card. So you have to also do some self-evaluating. What did I do well, and where do I need to improve?
Saw Josh Outman throwing. Miguel Montero struck out his first time. And Montero drives this pitch to deep center field. And it is going to land short of the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Montero into second with a double. And now Arizona has a 3-2 lead. For Miguel Montero, RBIs 86 and 87. And that is a very important swing of the bat for Miguel. Number one, he's given his club the lead, but on a personal note, he now has a new career high in ribbies. His previous best was 86.
He continues to lead National League catchers in RBIs. The hips follow the hands from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Miguel Montero this year against the Rockies, prior to that, was hitting .367 with 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Had a couple more RBIs now.
Chris Johnson caught looking his first time up. And Johnson hits it in the air to right. McBride started in, goes back, makes the catch. And Montero, as he should, with nobody out, will tag and move up. So 1 out for Gerardo Parra.
Well, now you're going to have to play the infield in. And if you can get Parra to keep it at a 3-2, you walk McDonald, the 8th place hitter, to get to the pitcher and try to escape the inning with just 2 runs.
That one off the glove, no advancement.
Kicked off the brick to come back. Miguel Montero didn't have a big lead at third.
You see, so many times that's happened this year, not only at Coors Field. We're talking about, I think, Huey in San Diego, where the ball ricocheted off the padding and right back. It's almost like, you know, being at a youth field. 1-1. Two and 1. Two balls, 2 strikes on Gerardo Parra. Parra just 3, check at 4 for his last 28. And this is in the air to deep enough left center field that it'll get the run home. Miguel Montero comes around for the 4th run for Arizona. Nice bit of hitting there by Parra. 35th RBI for Parra. John McDonald, with 2 outs and nobody on, will hit. On the corner strike on McDonald. He walked his first time. Well, this undoubtedly will be, assuming he can get one more out, just a 3-inning stint for Drew Pomerantz, and that's a base hit. That'll bring up Miley.
And the next pitch would be number 80. 45 strikes, 34 balls of the 79 for Drew now.
Tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch, fast speed, a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. 94 for Pomerantz, 91 for Miley. And pitch to Miley. He's outside, ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Pomerantz at the big league level this year has thrown 86 innings. That's a strike.
I'm just looking at the schedule. If he stays on course, he would have 2 more starts, one against the Chicago Cubs and then another one at the last week of the season, last 3 games against Arizona, again down in Phoenix.
Drew made 9 starts at AAA Colorado Springs. And he got to the big leagues very quickly. The former Cleveland #1, 5th pick overall in the draft out of Ole Miss. Trying to learn a difficult craft at the highest level.
I think he realizes it's stuff that you can get away with at AA and AAA. You can't at the major league level.
He's not giving up that baseball.
It's hers. It's her baseball.
Struck him out in the inning. 3 runs for the Diamondbacks to take a 4-2 lead. Middle of inning number 3. Miguel Montero and the D-backs up 4-2. This is brought to you by the Ford Explorer. Go do your exploring. Ford Explorer, go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Colorado Hyundai dealers and America's most fuel-efficient car company, Hyundai. Civic Center Park, downtown. Coors Field, located at the corner of Blake Street and 20th Street. Jordan Pacheco takes strike one from Wade Miley. Ground ball to second. Move him up at bat for Pacheco in the first inning after Josh Rutledge had doubled in Fowler. Jordan did a nice job with that AB. Willeen Rosario would single home Rutledge, and a base hit for Pacheco. Rockies with their 6th hit already against Miley.
Your eyes light up when it's a hanging breaking pitch, and that's what Jordan got.
That's a strike. Here's the 0-1. Well, first to check on Pacheco at first. I keep thinking it's Monday, Huey, because we're used to, getting homes late on a Sunday night. This ball's ripped to left, and it'll drop and roll past Gerardo Parra, and a stop sign for Pacheco on the double by Rosario. Rosario's has 5 hits in his last 6 at bats.
They've been all across the field. This one was a pull double. Right out of the hand from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo from Wade Miley. It was a flat curveball, didn't have the depth on it. But from the side, the Willeen Rosario, the foot gets down right into that position, and then everything else follows through, including the hips to the hands, to the head, to the barrel of the bat.
Down low on Chris Nelson. Bouncing ball toward the middle of the diamond. It'll get a run home. And it's 4-3 as Nelson drives in his 48th run.
But good execution from Chris to hit the ball to the second baseman. You get the run in and also the runner over. High fives across the dugout. That's how the game is supposed to be played. 48 RBIs for Chris.
Andrew Brown struck out swinging his first time.
Now Arizona will play their infield in even on the grass.
Brown a chance to tie it. Looking to lift the baseball if possible. Here's the 1-1, and that's in there 1-2.
This is where Miley will throw a cut fastball, or he'll throw the big breaking pitch that he'll bury, and it's up to Miguel Montero to block it.
He went heat or missed with it.
There's no wasted time in between pitches for Wade Miley. He's always waiting on the hitter to get set.
Well, he got under it. Did he hit it far enough? Parra can throw left center field. And here we go. Throw on its way. Rosario's going to score easily. And it's a tie baseball game. Andrew Brown got it deep enough. 7th RBI for Brown. And he knocks up the game at 4 here in the 3rd inning. That'll take Drew Pomerantz off the hook.
Well, and every time that the Diamondbacks scored, the Rockies have answered. Rosario is watching the left fielder. When he catches it, he takes off. People always ask you, does the third base coach tell you when to go? I know they do it down in the youth baseball. No, here at the big leagues, the guys have to watch the play. The third base coach, they don't say anything.
You're talking about 0.2 of a second, 3/10 of a second. If you're waiting for somebody to tell you go, by the time your brain fires, you're
well, and then you could also have a third baseman tell you to go.
This ball lined toward right center field. Will it get down? Nope. Cut off in center by Adam Eaton. So McBride retired. He's the 3rd out. Rockies get a couple of runs, tie it up at 4.
Mark Stout here with today's Chevy's Dare to Compare, which is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the longest lasting, most dependable truck on the road. Chevy made for Colorado. This is all about the Diamondbacks. Their record through the season, they come into this game 74-75. They've pretty much been 500 for most of the year. 20-10-10, 60-30-30. 100 games in, 50 up, 50 down. If they can win here tonight, guys, 75-75 through 150. Let's go back to Drew and Jeff.
All right, Mark, thank you. They're hoping to go on a late season run. The Rockies are now utilizing Alex White out of the bullpen. See if they can get some length out of him tonight, following up Drew Pomerantz, who went only 3 innings, threw more than 80 pitches, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, walked 5, struck out 4.
Yeah, when Jorge De La Rosa was inserted into the starting rotation yesterday, somebody was the odd man out, and it was Alex White. But don't think of it as a demotion. Think of it as another opportunity to continue to pitch. And there are some scouts that I've talked to that think that this might be the role that's best suited for him coming out of the bullpen.
He'll get the top of the order. Adam Eat. Ground ball to short and a walk against Pomerantz. And a ground ball to first. 1 out.
Nice start. Because that has been Alex's issue at times this year, is getting quick first pitch, second pitch outs with the sinking ground ball. The sinking fastball and not falling behind.
Off the plate, ball 1 on Aaron Hill. Dexter in right center field. 2 outs. Justin Upton has scored 2 runs tonight. He has walked twice.
3 of the 5 walks that Drew gave up came back to score.
And Upton is on again. Justin's big brother BJ will be a free agent at the end of the year. There are a number of teams naturally that will be very interested in the Tampa outfielder, including Tampa.
Joe Madden keeps that club in it every year.
He does. Good pitching helps. They've been challenged offensively, but they have a heck of a staff led by David Price. And tonight they're scoring runs and they're getting good pitching. They're up 12-0. See, that's a combination of both. They're beating Toronto at the Trop. Barry Manilow is playing after the game.
There'll still only be 12,000 people there.
To the count on Goldschmidt. He's got a good looking swing, doesn't he?
Well, he was the minor league player of the year in all of baseball last year, the year before, and then with that swing, all the home runs and RBIs that he had, you can see that was a pretty easy pick. Tampa Bay last in the American League in home attendance.
You needed to look that up to confirm it.
I was just double checking.
How many have they drawn?
We're going into tonight 1,465,000
for one of the premier teams in baseball the last several years.
Cleveland is second to last. Oakland's third.
2-2 on Goldschmidt, 2 outs. Upton at first. A reminder, Toyota Talk will come your way in the 6th inning. Text Toyota followed by a space and then your comments to 720-720. Text right now. Be entered to win a 1-year family membership to the Denver Zoo. Upton takes off. No throw and another stolen base.
16 now for Justin Upton.
Second tonight. Ball 4. Again, the same pattern that Pomeranz had. You get 2 quick outs, Alex White does in the inning. Then he gives up the base hit, and then a lot of pitches to Paul Goldschmidt. He loses them. And you have Miguel Montero at the plate, not a guy you want to face.
No, in Arizona tonight with 2 outs, they're 3 for 6, a double, 2 singles, 3 walks. You want to put the inning down. You don't want to extend it. With Miguel Montero, that's the last guy you want to see coming to the plate with 2 outs, and the way he hits against the Rockies and at this ballpark. He doesn't get cheated on his swing. There's no trying to hit the ball to left field. Reminding himself to pull the hands in, keep him close to the body. Closer to the body is a faster swing.
More powerful one also.
Quicker, everything involved.
Montero throws out a base hit to right. Upton around third. He's coming home. McBride's throw will be cut off. And Arizona goes back in front 5-4. A 2-out rally. Single walk, single. Montero with 3 RBIs already in the ball game. 88 on the season for the Arizona catcher. Signed a big extension earlier this year, a very lucrative extension.
And that's why they locked him up, because he's a two-way catcher. He used to just be able to say he was offensive. Now he can handle himself behind the plate, but his bat in the middle of that lineup with Justin Upton has kept the Diamondbacks at least alive in the wild card. They're barely hanging on, but they are hanging on.
Upton's continuing to score runs at not a record clip, but a significant clip. 3 more runs scored tonight. He was 4th in the league in runs scored coming in.
He has 98 now for Justin Upton.
Yeah, we always talk about Ribby's 100 RBIs. You score 100 runs. It's impressive. 0-1 on Chris Johnson. 1-1. Miguel Montero at first base. Jeff mentioned that he's really improved defensively. He always had the ability to swing the bat. The Rockies hope that's the case with Willeen Rosario. He has demonstrated this year he is a tour de force offensively. Defensively, he has a long ways to go.
You just need to put in the extra work this winter. Willeen Rosario is a young man that will work, but you have to catch and you have to be able to block. and make throws. It's not just putting fingers down for the pitcher.
Bill McLaughlin out talking to White.
September 27th is Fan Appreciation Day. All fans automatically will be entered for merchandise and autographed items. Random prize giveaways throughout the game. The 27th against the Cubs. Call 303 Rockies for more information on Fan Appreciation Day.
Ball ripped to left by Johnson. It is off the top of the wall. One run is scored. Stopping at third base is Montero on the double by Chris Johnson. And the 2-out rally will not abate. 6-4 Arizona. 2 quick outs again in the inning by White. 1 pitch to retire Adam Eaton. Couple pitches got Aaron Hill.
The swing from Johnson creates his 31st RBI in a Diamondbacks uniform, his 72nd on the season. This came within 8 to 12 inches of being a home run.
Rockies will put on Parra to load the bases for John McDonald. And with that intentional walk of Parra, the Rockies will have walked 6 in 3 2/3. Not good.
No, and 4 of those 6 have come around to score.
A walk and a single for McDonald. Hits are even, 7 apiece. Both teams have committed an error, and it's off the end of the bat. Two on John McDonald. Kevin Towers a big fan of McDonald. He went out and got him from Toronto last year, and then he gave him a 2-year deal in the offseason. Despite the fact that John will turn 38 in 3 days.
Yeah, keeps himself in good shape. Plays second short. We talked about Jonathan Herrera earlier in the broadcast about how a manager doesn't have to worry about somebody. Well, that's John McDonald. He has 1 error in his last 64 ball games. So he's going to catch the ball and he'll throw out a few hits.
Toward the hole like that. That's a base hit, and it's going to score 2. And now the Diamondbacks have an 8-4 lead. All 4 runs with 2 outs. Single, walk, single, double, intentional walk, single. And here comes Wade Miley as the Diamondbacks have hit around in the 4th inning. $19 RBIs for McDonald. Nobody's up in the Rockies bullpen. In foul ground, Nelson has a play. 6 straight reached. 4 runs come around, and Arizona now has an 8-4 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. The bottom of the 4th inning, Johnny Herrera will lead it off. Well, time to check our college football lineup on Root Sports tomorrow. Ole Miss Tulane will kick the day off at 10 a.m. And stick around a little bit later on in the afternoon. A Big Sky matchup. Montana will be hosting Northern Arizona. That's at 1:30. College Football Saturday right here on Root Sports. Huey, Northern Arizona is in Flagstaff, which is just a little north of where you grew up.
The Lumberjacks.
The Lumberjacks. Did you go up there skiing as a kid?
I actually went up there a few times to watch some games because my brothers and sisters all went to NAU.
Oh, okay. They have a baseball program?
Nope. They dropped it. Let's say sometime around the late 70s, early 80s.
Wade Miley gets a ground ball to short from Johnny Herrera, and John McDonald throws him out.
It's Montana's homecoming tomorrow against Northern Arizona.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Alex White. Well, he's on a roll offensively. White, in each of his last 2 starts, has hit a home run. Two outs. And Dexter Fowler will come up. Dexter's 1 for 2. Fowler hits a towering pop up to right field. Justin Upton makes the catch, and Wade Miley has a quick and efficient 1-2-3 4th inning. Off to the 5th we go. Arizona 8, Rockies 4. for the 4th time tonight for Arizona. You know, it's a good night offensively when your leadoff hitter comes up in the 5th inning for the 4th time. Adam Eaton will begin things against Alex White. 3 innings for Drew Pomerantz. He gave up 4 runs, 4 hits, walked 5, struck out 4. White started out last inning in good shape. He got this man, Adam Eaton, on 1 pitch. He got Aaron Hill on a couple of pitches, but then a single by Upton, a walk to Goldschmidt, an RBI single from Montero, a double off the top of the left field wall by Johnson, an intentional walk to Parra, a 2-run single from McDonald. Eaton takes a strike, going 1.
Contrast that to what Wade Miley did last half inning. 3 quick outs to get his club back hitting again.
Bunts it up in the air. Willeen won't have a play.
I didn't like bunting with 1 strike, 0-1, because if you foul it off, now you're sitting 0-2, and it's a defensive at bat.
White's ready. Here's the 0-2, and he got him. Change up. Good pitch. And that's first strikeout for Alex White.
Was it the split finger? He just spread his fingers out more and just used the turning over the hand to get the less velocity. Awkward swing from Eaton.
Two 2-0 the count on Aaron Hill. Fly ball to center, fly ball to right, fly ball to center.
And that's why the outfielders are playing straight up out in the outfield for Aaron Hill.
3-0. I mean, it just comes and goes right now for White and Pomerantz. You'll see really, really good. You'll see, you know, those guys get ahead of hitters, and then the very next hitter, 3 pitches not close in a row.
Yeah, and that's why when they're out there, that 75 to 80 pitches that they have, it's a 50-50 ratio between balls and strikes. Because they'll roll along great, and then other times it's can't find the strike zone.
One out walk to Aaron Hill. Justin Upton, who has 2 walks and a single and 3 runs scored, will take his 4th turn.
8th walk this evening.
Well, I've said it many times. You don't win many games when you have a walk total approaching anything close to 8. Forget 8. You walk 5 in a game, you typically don't win.
Well, and Arizona is also at the top 5 as far as pitches seen per at bat, so they're going to be selective. They're seeing 3.89 pitches per at bat as a club. That's 5th in all of baseball.
But even the pitches that have ultimately been ball 4, it's not as if they're borderline pitches.
No. Out of the hand, hitters see those as balls. They recognize the difference between a strike and a ball as soon as it leaves the hand.
Chris Nelson knocks it down, and it'll be a base hit for Upton. So He continues to swing the bat well. 3 hits yesterday. Upton single, pushes Hill to second. 2 on, 1 out. Paul Goldschmidt will come up.
Follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com at Bat 2012 app. It features pitch tracking, highlight, and more. Text at Bat to 31826.
Goldschmidt a double and 2 walks. Paul's got 41 doubles. And that goes to the backstop. Second and third. Chart we visited too many times this year, the wild pitch chart. Rockies way out in front in that department in the National League.
Well, and now you have to bring the infield into the number 3 depth where they're not all the way in. They're 2 or 3 steps back off the grass. And a big slugger like Goldschmidt's not a comfortable feeling for an infielder. It's 87 wild pitches, 17 more than the Houston Astros.
Not a list you want to be on top of.
But the other 3 teams, and they're in the 50s, those 3 teams are in the playoffs, or going to be with San Francisco. Their magic number is 3. Milwaukee's fighting for that last wild card spot.
And they're beating Washington tonight 4-2 in the 9th inning.
How about the turnaround there after trading Zach Greinke?
Such a dominant home team. Something the Rockies always need to be. 3-0 on Goldschmidt. It's not like you're pitching around Goldschmidt, as dangerous as he is. Miguel Montero's on deck, a left-handed hitter who already has 3 ribbies tonight. And swinging 3-0. That's on past Chris Nelson. A run scores. Hill makes it 9-4. Upton to third. Call it the hot corner because you don't get to pick your hops. That'll be all for Alex White. Jim Tracy's got to go get him. There'll be an error on Nelson. An RBI for Goldschmidt. The field was back, so Goldschmidt has his 2nd ribby of the night. Arizona 9 and the Rockies 4. Outman coming in. the wall in right center field. That was the good side of things for Drew, but on the pitching side, the thing he's paid to do, he struggled tonight. 2-run double off the bat of Miguel Montero. Montero again with a chance to drive in runs, and he did there with a single. Upton has scored 3 runs tonight. He's currently standing on third base. 9-4 Arizona. It's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address, and the Rockies here in the 5th inning already onto their 3rd pitcher. Alex White goes an inning and a 3rd. And he is responsible for Upton at 3rd and Goldschmidt at 1st. And you got to make sure you keep your eye on Goldschmidt. I know there's a lefty on the mound, but Goldschmidt will run.
Goldschmidt with 16 of 19 in stolen bases.
And again, you never think so looking at the body type. Big, strong guy. There's a breaking ball for a strike from Outman.
Outman started the year in the bullpen for the Rockies and then went down to Double-A and started back up again.
He's been good since he's been back in this role. Get foul.
That's foul.
Yes, it is. He's headed toward the Mountain Ranch Club. It came close to landing in somebody's soup.
That's one of the last things you're thinking when you're sitting in the Mountain Ranch Club.
Ask Miguel if we can get him a new bat for tomorrow. Look at the barrel of his bat.
That's from clanking the cleats. When you hit it on the bottom of your cleat to knock off any dirt or you're in frustration.
Well, it tells you he hasn't broken a bat in a while.
And he doesn't use it for batting practice. I'll tell you that.
I was talking to, who was it? Somebody the other day. Took the same bat he was planning on using in the game out for batting practice.
Well, there's one theory that you only have a certain amount of hits in a bat, so why use them up in batting practice?
One and two, a running count. Not going. Fastball outside. 2-2. Missed at 95. Montero a strikeout, 2-run double that you just saw, and then a run scoring single that you just saw. 88 RBIs for Miguel Montero. Three and two. Miguel has reached base now in 19 straight ball games.
See how aggressive Kirk Gibson is on the 3-2 count to Miguel.
1 out. Good speed on both corners. Upton at 3rd, Goldschmidt at 1st. Not going. And this is a fly ball down the left field line. Brown makes the catch. Upton opted not to run. Thought Andrew did a great job of making sure he was ready to throw, even given his proximity to the stands.
Well, you first have to worry about the guy at 3rd base, Justin Upton. Once he saw that he wasn't going, he changed his focus to 2nd base because Paul Goldschmidt, because it was a foul ball, had gone back to tag like you're taught. He took 3 or 4 hard strides to 2nd base, and that's why you saw the throw go into 2nd and not come into home. That's where Andrew used the pre-pitch thought process. If it's hit to me, what am I going to do with the ball?
Chris Johnson at the plate. Fouls it back. Arizona scored in every inning but the second inning, and in the second inning they left the bases loaded. Nine runs, 9 hits, 2 outs in the 5th inning. It's not like the Rockies have a bad offensive game going. They have 4 runs through 4 innings of play with 7 hits.
And other than in the 4th inning when Arizona scored 4 runs, they had answered the Diamondbacks when they scored in the 1st and 3rd to tie it up.
Runner going, fouled off. Goldschmidt took off, 1-2.
Running count, 1-2. Be surprised if they just threw the quick throw over to see if Goldschmidt takes off again.
He's going, no throw, but a strikeout at the plate of Johnson. In the inning, another run for Arizona. There was a hit and an error. A man was walked as well, 9-4. Time for the big hit presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of big hits. A towering home run to left center field at AT&T Park a couple of nights ago by Willeen Rosario. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. Josh Rutledge, Jordan Pacheco, and Rosario in the 5th inning. That pitch misses from Wade Miley. It's 1-1. RBI double in the 1st for Rutledge and a line drive to short in the 2nd that would have produced another run. Good pass through the strike zone there by Josh.
He's taking better swings because he's keeping that left foot, his stride foot, closed when he goes to swing. It had been getting open on him. So now when he strides, that thing right there will stay closed and allow you to hit balls like that. Even though it's an out, you take solace in the fact that everything was good. You can only control how you swing.
And the only reason it's an out is great defensive alignment by Gerardo Parra. He's in the left center field
Stop
gap.
it right here. Now notice where the foot is. He had been pointing it out before when he was struggling in the 0 for 23s, 0 for 24s. Now the hips stay underneath him because the foot's closed.
You can also see with that torque and then how he brings his mass to the baseball. And he's not a huge guy, but why he generates power.
And that's why some guys, even though they're big, don't generate as much power as some of the guys that are smaller, because everything is not together. And that's what's nice about baseball, that you can have a smaller guy. I mean, think of Joe Morgan.
Right.
Joe Morgan, with all the power that he had. You see it in golfers. You don't have to be a big, strapping, strong guy to drive the ball a long way in golf. It's everything coming together at the correct time.
Rory McIlroy.
Davis Love the third.
3 balls and a strike on Jordan Pacheco, who singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Rockies down by a 5 spot here in the bottom of the 5th. Wade Miley's given up 4 runs on 7 hits, but he's still attacking the zone. 68 pitches in, a good number.
44 of those have been strikes.
Ground ball to first. Goldschmidt.
Wasn't an easy play, but he made it look easy.
Here's a baby bull. RBI single in the 1st and a double in the 3rd. Pulled toward 3rd, diving stop, and the throw to first. Well done by Chris Johnson. 1, 2, 3, 5th inning for Miley. He's now retired 9 in a row. They've made some outstanding defensive plays tonight. The Diamondbacks at short. John McDonald robbing Josh Rutledge with that diving stop. A moment ago, Chris Johnson taking a hit away from Orlin Rosario. It's brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. That's a good-looking shot. Weekend commencing in Lodo. Diamondbacks 9, Rockies 4. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Mark Stout with you from Coors Field. Rockies will play 4 games, kind of one of those strange stay over the weekend on to Monday series with Arizona, and then the Cubs will come in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoon, and then the Rockies will head to Los Angeles for 3 and then to Phoenix to take on these Diamondbacks to conclude the 2012 season.
Good carryovers. Those are hard on Mondays because Sundays are normally a travel day.
Well, that's why I said, because normally you come back on Sunday. I was all messed up today. I kept thinking I was going to put the garbage out today. It was Friday. It doesn't happen on Monday.
Garbage is Monday.
My wife almost fell over in shock.
That you were going to take out the garbage?
Probably.
Yeah.
There's a question about over the last 20 years, how many teams have drawn 60 million fans? Just one, I would think, right? Or maybe.
Yeah.
The fastest,
they're the
fastest to 60 million.
Yeah. It was the 1,582nd home game.
Parra base hit. Gerardo is 2 for 2, a sac fly and an intentional walk, so a leadoff single. 10 hits for Arizona. John McDonald coming up. He's had a perfect night. A walk and 2 singles, 2 RBIs. When do you think Tula will be back? Amanda in Utah. Hopefully the final week of the season. We shall see. There's no guarantees. He works out every day, takes batting practice and ground balls, Amanda, every single day. Just wants to make sure that thing's completely healthy.
I was watching him take ground balls today, and he looked good. I mean, he was getting down in a better fielding position, bending the knees. That it was, you could see the progress that he had made in 2 weeks.
Breaking ball for a strike.
Todd had hip surgery, and it all depend on how the rehab goes, but he's looking towards next spring.
See that Yorvi Torrealba was purchased from Toronto for cash, and the Rockies had Parra picked off. Instead, Parra will get a stolen base.
Number 14 for Parra. He takes off, and Josh Outman lifts up the leg. They pick him, but the transfer from Jordan is dropped.
We get a lot of Tula questions. We know that Todd's not playing this year. He's rehabbing. He's at the ballpark at home games. He's not traveling with the club right now. On the downs from Fruita's question, how long has Pomerantz been a Rocky? Since a month after the trade deadline last year. Rockies at the trade deadline in late July, the non-waiver trade deadline, made the deal with Cleveland, Ubaldo Jimenez for Alex White, Drew Pomerantz, Matt McBride, and side armor down in Tulsa. Joe Gardner. And Pomerantz, because he had not been with Cleveland for a year until a month later. There's a rule. This is a hard shot past Nelson for a base hit. Parra's coming home. Throw to the plate is in time. Out at the plate. Andrew Brown with another great throw. We were bragging on Brown's arm earlier.
Well, Matt Williams with the 5-run lead was waving Parra. A quick release from Andrew Brown all the way in the air. Willeen Rosario is right out in front of home plate. And when the left fielder has the ball as the base runner is getting to third, you should throw him out. And Andrew Brown does just that.
Anyhow, to finish that, so Pomerantz had to wait a month. He was the player to be named later. Both organizations knew who that player was going to be, but the rules stipulated you have to wait till he's in your organization for a year before you trade him. So Drew Pomerantz, to answer your question, has officially been a Rocky since the end of August of last year.
Yeah, it was August 15th when they could make the deal.
Is that what it was? Okay,
August
so mid-August.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Miley bounces out, 2 gone.
Appendectomy, too.
Right.
Right after that.
David Dahl, he had a great short season in Grand Junction, but he's an 18-year-old kid, so 2014 he'd have to really be on the fast track to get here in 2014. Now the Rockies love what they see. He was the Pioneer League MVP, rated as the best prospect in that league, but it's very unusual when you see, for instance, what a Mike Trout did.
That's who I was going to compare it to. I mean, when you're talking about Trout, that's the kind of talent that gets to the big leagues at 21. Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr.'s.
Now you hope he progresses that fast.
Yeah.
So Yorvi Torrealba, as we were saying, acquired from Toronto by Milwaukee. Adam Eaton with a 2-strike count. This ball's a towering fly ball to deep right field. It's got a chance to get out. It will. Adam Eaton, who hit his first career home run yesterday, has number 2. And he makes it 11-4. A 2-run home run for the Miami of Ohio product.
And an 0-2 pitch. It's the cardinal sin of pitching, to give up an 0-2 home run.
Aaron Hill takes a strike. Left center field, well hit over the head of Brown. He'll grab it on one hop, and Aaron Hill has a double. That's his first hit of the night.
With that home run from Eaton, 8 of the 11 runs that the Diamondbacks have scored have been with 2 outs.
Josh Renicky will be the next in, evidently. A run in the first for Arizona. They left the bases loaded and did not score in the second. 3 in the third, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 2 here in the sixth. And the swinging cue shot right back to Outman. It'll throw out Upton. First time Upton has been retired tonight. 11-4 Arizona. The bases. They have an 11-4 lead on the Rockies. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Slow down. Chris Nelson here in the 6th inning will lead things off. Nelly an infield hit and an RBI ground out. He's had how many rockets hit in his direction tonight?
Too many. He's got 3 to his left that he's tried to make the play on.
And so he says, you know what, I'm going to hit one in that direction. That's a fair ball. And Chris will have a double against Wade Miley.
Broke up the minor run that Wade Miley had going to retiring Rockies, and Chris comes through with his second hit tonight.
Brown swinging strike one. He had the great throw last inning to cut down Gerardo Parra at the plate. Second outfield assist this week, cutting a runner down at the plate. One and two. That double by Nelson ended a string of 9 straight, retired by Wade Miley. Looking for his 16th win of the year. And Jeff mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. The only rookie of the year in Rockies history, Jason Jennings, when he won the award, he did it with 16 victories.
2002, and that's he won't win the rookie of the year, but he will get a lot of votes.
You talking about Wade Miley?
Yeah, Wade Miley. Yeah.
You still think it'll go either to Harper or Frazier?
Yeah.
I mean, Harper's come on lately. You got to look inside what Miley's done, and he's going to have a couple of more starts. And if he wins 17, 18 games, he's an all-star this year with a low ERA. It's 3.10 coming in. Figures to go up a little bit tonight, but I know the name Bryce Harper is going to draw a lot of votes, but Harper's hitting 260, 19 home runs, 51 RBIs. He's a high-energy player, terrific player, and his best days are.
And Washington made the playoffs.
Yeah, I understand that. Brown's gone,
and that's why I think he'll win it. Maybe Todd Frazier will knock him off the perch.
Here comes Matt McBride with 1 out. Here's a closer look at the some of the key numbers. Frazier is hitting 20 points higher than Harper, basically the same number of home runs, 11 more ribbies, and Frazier's team, like Washington, has already made the postseason. Wade Miley on a team that probably won't make the postseason. There's a base hit for McBride. Nelson around third will be held down by 7 runs. The prudent thing to do for Richie Dower. First hit for McBride tonight.
Wade Miley is just 25. Part of a young pitching core for Arizona.
It's funny because in terms of pure power numbers, home runs, RBIs, you can't deny what Willeen Rosario's done, and he plays the toughest defensive position of any of the guys in the group. Once fouled off by Johnny Herrera. But it's working against him because of his struggles with pass balls, throwing errors.
Yeah, but I don't think the people who vote on it watch that as much, because I think back to Ryan Braun when he won Rookie of the Year, how many errors he had at third base. He put up the power numbers, but the next year they had to move to left field.
Yeah, the other thing that clearly works against Willeen and Jordan Pacheco, for that matter, is that they're going to play on a team that is going to lose, somewhere between 95 and 100 games, in all likelihood.
Jordan consistency hitting 300 this whole year.
There's a base hit up the middle for Johnny Herrera. Drove in a run yesterday. And Johnny drives in a run here in the 6th inning to make it 11-5. Rockies will go to their bench. Charlie Blackmon will hit for Atman.
Charles Nagy, longtime pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, out for the first time tonight, talking to Wade Miley. Brian Shaw, the right-hander, warming up for Arizona. We'll get a pinch hitter in Charlie Blackmon.
Rockies have only one right-handed hitter on the bench, and that's DJ LeMahieu. To short, could be 2. There's 1 on the first. Charlie beat it. Fowler will come up. Decks a single, strikeout, and a fly ball to right field.
These two have worked together numerous times. You talked about it with Toronto. They came over in the Kelly Johnson deal. Shortstop, second base tandem.
Five runs, 10 hits against Miley tonight. On the corner. Oh, another one. 1-2. Strike three. Wade Miley for the second time freezes Dexter Fowler. Buster of pitches right on the outside corner. Rockies get a run. It's 11-5. Energy high efficiency inning. Honestly, there hasn't been one, so we're going to show you a high efficiency throw. Great throw, Andrew Brown on the fly to Willeen Rosario to get Gerardo Parra. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Josh Renicky is the fourth pitcher used tonight by Jim Tracy. And he will get Paul Goldschmidt, Miguel Montero, and Chris Johnson.
In all likelihood, it'll just be a one-inning appearance for Josh. They backed off the multiple innings for him and tried to help him get to the finish line.
An inning and 2/3 for Outman. He gave up a couple of runs on 4 hits. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 1. Pomerantz went 3 innings, gave up 4 runs, 4 hits. Now the Rockies actually tied the ball game up, so Pomerantz is not on the hook. Alex White is. White gave up 5 runs in an inning and a third. Ball and a strike on Goldschmidt. RBI double, a walk, another walk, and then he reached on an error, got credited for an RBI. Bouncing ball deep in the hole. Herrera, long throw. What a pretty play that was. Johnny Herrera across his body. Momentum took him into foul ground by the time he stopped rolling.
And you have to get your whole body turned and your hips turned when you make a throw across your body, and it takes arm strength, and you have to start it out onto the outfield side of first base and let the natural trajectory of the ball come back to first, where you get the stretch from the first baseman. Jonathan Herrera, after a while you just run out of things to say about him other than he's just a ball player.
He's a ball player. He's a good ball player. Montero, 3 ribbies tonight, 2 for 4, single and a double.
One more look at this from the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. When that left foot comes into the ground, you have to get your body all the way around and get it turned to make that throw and get him by a half stride.
Montero came into the ball game hitting .367 against the Rockies with 3 home runs and 9 ribbies. That average has gone up. He's got 12 RBIs now against Colorado this season. In fact, you go back to last year, he's hitting .358 against the Rockies with 8 home runs and 28 driven in just over his last 17 games against Colorado pitching.
Make that 31 RBIs.
Yep. 31 RBIs in 18 games. 3-2.
He's the James Loney of the Diamondbacks. The Rockies don't have to see James Loney
till next year.
He's with Boston now.
Rockies will play 2 series against Boston next year, 1 at Fenway, 1 here. And a 3rd hit for Montero. Chris Johnson coming up, 1 for 4, double in the 4th inning that scored a run.
The last 2 games of the year for Colorado at home here at Coors Field is against Boston next year.
Rockies will finish in LA. You got to qualify now. They'll finish in LA against the Dodgers because
right.
there's interleague games throughout the season, because next year 15 in the AL, 15 in the NL, with Houston moving from the National League.
There's a interleague game opening day in 2013. Cincinnati and LA Angels.
Good pitch. High fly ball, deep center field off the bat of Johnson, and this one is gone. Chris Johnson, who came close to hitting a home run back in the 4th inning, has hit his 15th, a 2-run shot. RBI 73 and 74 make it 13-5 Arizona.
The double that he just missed hitting a home run was to left field. This one was a hanger belt high to Johnson, and he takes it out to the deepest part of the ballpark, 6 to 8 rows back.
1 strike on Gerardo Parra. Rutledge throws out Parra, 2 outs.
Fans buy a green pack, 2 tickets for $24 and $5 will go towards planting trees. It's available September 23rd and 25th. That is Sunday and Tuesday.
McDonald a walk and 3 singles. Ooh, got rung up. Thought he held up, evidently not. In the inning, a 2-run home run by Chris Johnson. 13-5, Arizona leading. Stretch time at Coors Field. If you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more, for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, Mark Stout on a pretty Friday night. Fireworks to follow. Arizona has supplied, unfortunately, all the fireworks in the game tonight. 13 runs on 15 hits. Wade Miley, after giving up 5 runs on 10 hits in 6 innings, will depart. He obviously has a strong opportunity to win his 16th game. Brian Shaw will take over. Josh Rutledge, Jordan Pacheco, and Willeen Rosario in the 7th.
Brian spent some time down with Reno, the AAA affiliate, cleaning some mechanics up. 8 games down for the Aces. 2 saves, a 2.25 ERA. And speaking of Reno, the AAA club for Arizona, they won the PCL, and then they went over and played the winner, Pawtucket, in the International League and won that. Matt Belisle is getting loose for next inning for Colorado.
Two and two on Rutledge. Look out. So Rutledge will go to first. Pacheco will come up.
Was a slider out and around from Brian Shaw. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo will illustrate how that ball did not break at all. It just caught Josh in the tricep to the left arm.
Average resting at 303 for Pacheco. 1 for 3 tonight. 1-1. Milwaukee held on, beat Washington 4-2. The Dodgers won 3-1. There's 1 and 2.
Quick transfer out of the glove to the hand from John McDonald to Aaron Hill.
Wallin, an RBI single in the first. He doubled and scored in the third, robbed of a hit by Chris Johnson in the fifth when Chris dove to his left to take a single away. And another hit. 3 hits yesterday, 3 hits tonight. Pitching line for Wade Miley, 6 innings, 5 runs, 10 hits, didn't walk anybody. That's a key at Coors Field. It's key anywhere. 4 strikeouts. Chris Nelson's got a couple of hits tonight and an RBI. And the slider's fouled off. Looking up at that scoreboard, there's only 1-0 up there on the line score for Arizona. That was the second inning, and it's not like they didn't threaten to score. They left the bases loaded. And every other inning they have scored it.
And Aaron Hill to the plate. And he flew out to right field.
Shaw misses 3-1 on Nelson. Rockies have lost 6 consecutive games. Staring down a 7th, down by 8 runs. Hard hit ball, just foul. Chris Caccione get out of the way. Good thing Chris works out every day still. That ball was hunting him.
It was, and all Chris could do was hop up out of the way and also make the call. Down the line, Chris is pulled the knees up to the chest.
Who was the umpire?
I was just trying to hit twice. Once at first base, once at third base on the last homestand.
Or was that in San Diego?
No, it was here.
Ball 4. So with 2 outs, Andrew Brown will come up.
Eric Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, he had a magnet in his pocket.
It was a series against San Francisco.
It's the only time I've seen an umpire hit this year in a game we've done, and Cooper got hit twice in that series. That's too short. McDonald to second base. Brown grounds into the 4th out. We'll move to the 8th inning. 13-5 Arizona.
Deficit against Arizona, but fans, you will receive a fan-designed t-shirt as part of a fan appreciation day on the last home game of the season against the Cubs. It's September 27th. It's a fan-designed purple t-shirt. Don't miss out on that fan appreciation day. Call 303 Rockies. Go to ColoradoRockies.com or all the usual places to get tickets. Yeah, I don't think Purell will take care of that. That's going to be a.
It's the right color. It's the right color, though.
It is the right color, but that's soap and water after that's finished.
He's going to make a baseball out of it.
That's the way you should eat cotton candy, though.
That kid's going to go to bed at 11 tomorrow night. Matt Belisle is on here in the 8th inning. Tyler Graham is pinch hitter, looking for his first big league hit. 42,359 fireworks coming after the ball game. Big crowd, and that's fouled off. 0-2.
Tyler Graham out of Great Falls, Montana. Yeah, I think that think you want to keep it on the stick and then eat it.
Strike 3. Tyler Graham is dismissed, and despite being up by 8 runs, the dugout trying to protect Tyler Graham, and they're barking a little bit at Corey Blazer. Adam Eaton, 2-run home run yesterday. Excuse me, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning, his first career home run yesterday. It's like on a Don Mattingly streak. Every day he hits a home run.
Today it was a left-on-left home run. Ow.
Well, here's his first career home run yesterday. He got that baseball, and then tonight against the breaking ball from Josh Outman.
They don't say how far they went. They say they just went over the fence.
It's all that matters. 1-1 on Eaton. Oh, man. I thought for sure. See, you can't be a waist bender, Hugh. I've always told you got to be a knee bender.
Bend at the knees?
Yeah.
Well, if you bend at the waist, your hands get back too far. You can't reach out for the baseball.
That's what you told me.
Yep. Next time.
Dugout bought that pitch from the last at bat.
Before you have the forward strike zones and the technology now, and back in the 80s and 90s, that was a strike. When the game got to be 13-5, you knew what the umpires were going to do. They were going to expand the zone, and they told you as much.
Two and a base hit for Eaton. That was a great. I got a description of his swing from some folks with Arizona earlier tonight, and that was exactly what they described. That he bails a little bit, but the barrel stays in the zone. Watch, body's going to bail a little bit.
And he has to take the top hand off the bat to get further length on the barrel to get up to that pitch that you're talking about. Reminds me of the guy that was his manager in AAA, Brett Butler.
Brett Butler could bunt. This kid supposedly could bunt. Let's check some news and notes as Aaron Hill's at the plate with a 1-strike count. Yorvi Torrealba, as we mentioned, now he started the year with Texas. He's now with Milwaukee. Dusty Baker has missed the last 3. We wish Dusty well. And Melky Cabrera ruled ineligible for the National League batting title. But Melky, from what I understand, which is the right move, initiated it.
Yeah, he got in touch with the Players Association. He sent them a letter.
That's going to drop. And around third comes Eaton. He's going to score. That's a double for Aaron Hill, his second double of the ball game. 71st RBI for Hill, and his 39th double now. Next double, he's in that 40 double club.
Trying to get up there with Paul Goldschmidt. But to finish that story about Melky Cabrera, he sent a letter to the Players Association stating that I don't want to be a part of that batting title. Even if you were to give me that one at bat that would qualify me, like you can do per the rules, I don't want to be considered. So then the Players Association went to Major League Baseball, into the commissioner, Bud Selig, and said this is what he wants to do. Bud said okay.
Gladly.
Gladly,
said okay.
yes. And now you don't have to worry about that being an issue.
Upton skies to right. Aaron Hill to third. Paul Goldschmidt with 2 outs to the plate. Yeah, that would have been awkward.
To say the least.
You know, and from a PR standpoint, because the 50 games will end, I believe, very early in the postseason.
So you would be eligible for the second round.
So, exactly. So San Francisco, I mean, he makes it, shall we say, a little more attractive. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but politically he's helped himself a little bit. Not in most people's eyes, I'm sure, but if the Giants were to bring him back.
Yeah, I just from rumors on the street, I've heard that's not going to happen because of the awkwardness of the whole situation to begin with.
Yeah, they were blindsided by it, and you know what? They played even better in his absence. 14-5, Diamondbacks get another run. McBride will hit first, and Takashi Saito is the new pitcher for Arizona. Rockies remember him well, in particular Todd Helton does from his days with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Still can see Todd with that walk-off home run against Saito in 07 and coming around third base, tossing his helmet in the air.
Special moment. It ignited the great run of 2007. Matt McBride, a single his last time up, 1 for 3. Johnny Herrera on deck.
Saito 2 different times on the DL. First time was a strained calf. The second time was a hamstring. Those are the problems that you have when you start to advance in age and trying to play Major League Baseball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. On the ground to second. That's Aaron Hill's locale. Johnny Herrera will come up. Johnny an RBI single in the 6th. Tyler Colvin's come out swinging a bat in the on deck circle. Saito is 42. His first year in the major leagues of Japan was in 1992 with Yokohama. Got 6 games that first year. His best year over there was 1999. He went 14-3. Came to the Dodgers and was with them 06, 07, and 08. Johnny hits this ball well to right field, and it's over the head of Upton, and it kicks away from him. Johnny to second with a double.
That ball was hit so hard it froze Justin Upton. 8th double this season for Jonathan. Nice shot, Subaru Supermo. Classic down swing from Jonathan Herrera. He squared that one up right on the barrel. Justin Upton freezes and then retreats and gets too close to the wall. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. Jonathan had a double. It just made it easier to jog into second.
Saito's pitched in the postseason 4 different times. Twice with the Dodgers, 06 and 08. With Boston in 09. And last year he was with Milwaukee. And he pitched in 3 games of that series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 3 scoreless innings.
That's why they went out and got him.
Yeah, so if we can't hit him, might as well put him on our side.
Use him in our bullpen.
He pitched in 3 games in the division series, scoreless. 3 more appearances in the NLCS, scoreless against the Cardinals. He's an all-star in 07. Quite a career on 2 different continents. Oh, man.
Just hope it hit the ankle, shin, foot guard that Tyler is wearing. Leg kick. Where did this hit?
Naturally, it missed the hard plastic.
It missed. You have that protection. Caught
part of it.
Maybe a little. Doesn't matter though. it still hurts no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, you throw a ball up and self-hit it, right? You know, if you're hitting a fungo. It would be like throwing a ball up and hitting a fungo at your buddy from 8 inches away.
And then you know the next pitch are going right back in there again.
Of course.
And so Tyler, he has to pull it foul so he doesn't hit it off his ankle a second time.
One out. Johnny Herrera's at second base. Tyler Colvin at the plate. Rockies have been out hit 17-12.
Seven of the 17 hits for Arizona have been extra base hits.
Saito pulls the string, and the slow hook gets Colvin. 2 outs. And Dexter Fowler will come up. The Rockies pitching staff, after the 17 hits tonight, have allowed 1,516 hits this year, which is the most in the National League, and a quick glance at the American League, and it's the most in the American League as well. By comparison, Washington's pitching staff coming into tonight had allowed 1,180 hits. So
in how many innings?
1,353 more innings. You're right. The Rockies coming in 1,306 innings. So about 330 less hits. Two strikes.
Saito still has the arm strength at 42, 91, 92 miles an hour.
Yeah, probably tick
He used
off
to
where
be
he was.
94.
Right, but you're right. He still has plenty good enough fastball. Here's the 1-2, 2-2. Crowd's been entertaining themselves doing the wave. It's a new phenomenon coming to a park near you.
Where did that start? Seattle?
University of Washington in Seattle. Yep. And Dex gets tied up, and Montero had to go over his head to get the out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Saito. Johnny Herrera left at second. We'll go to the ninth. 14-5 Arizona. Arizona has scored frequently tonight. They're up 14-5. As we go to the top of the ninth inning, the Toyota postgame show coming up afterwards. And for a preview now, here's me. Mile High and Dry. Pomerantz still winless in Denver this season. Drew Pomerantz will get a no decision tonight. Into the Wild. That's right, the Arizona Diamondbacks still alive, barely, in the wild card race. We'll give you updated wild card standings, where Arizona may or may not fit in. And as always, we'll hear from Jim Tracy afterward. That is what is to come on the Toyota postgame show. Will Harris will throw the top of the ninth inning. Miguel Montero will hit first.
Nice job on those topicals.
Well, you know, we're used to throwing to Jenny. Jenny's off doing football tomorrow. Used to throwing to Joel. Joel normally in that spot. Joel's off doing, speaking of the University of Washington, he's not there. He's at Washington State in Pullman. University of Colorado is in Pullman, hoping for a better performance than last week or the previous two.
Montana.
Jenny's in Montana. A game we'll have on Root Sports tomorrow. And Mark's making his way out there right now.
No, they'll be up here because of the fireworks.
Because of fireworks, Mark's coming up here, so he couldn't do it. So we're stuck with me having to do it. I apologize. Mediel is 3 for 5, 3 ribbies, 3 runs scored. And he's not hitting here. I look down there, it's Will Nieves.
Once Will became a free agent,
he ended up with Arizona. It's good to see Will.
I always root for good guys like Will to land on their feet, and he did.
And he's one of those guys. When he was with the Rockies earlier this year, when he's called up from AAA every day, big smile on his face.
Well, they needed it with Henry Blanco getting injured, hurt his thumb, had to have surgery. He's out for the rest of the year. Needed a veteran backup receiver. Will answered the call.
A guy they just brought up from Reno, who was with the Rockies last year, been in the big leagues with the Mets, is Mike Jacobs. There is a diving stop by Herrera. Did not get him. Nieves with a leg hit. Boy, Johnny's made a couple of spectacular plays tonight. That one he couldn't get Nieves. Boy, he wanted to get him and talk to him about it. Will say, man, that would not have been good if I got thrown out.
Yeah, I come off the bench. I hit one in the hole. Jonathan dives, gets up, one hops it over to Jordan Pacheco, who tries to sell it coming off the bag. This is different than the one we saw earlier from Jonathan because the angle was deeper. He couldn't cut across and make the throw on the run.
Chris Johnson with a base hit. Come on, Johnny, you got to make that play. Third hit for Johnson tonight. That's 19 hits for Arizona. Gerardo Parra against Will Harris. Parra, a single, a sac fly, an intentional walk, a single, and a ground ball to second. He's filled up every stat line because he has a stolen base in the ball game. Justin Upton, a couple of stolen bases tonight for Arizona.
Arizona had 84 stolen bases coming into tonight.
This is slowly hit to Pacheco. Nice job by Jordan. Gets it to Harris. Second and third, one out. So we're in the ninth inning, and again, Arizona has scored, Jeff, in every inning but the second. And we have conversed about this. In the second inning, Arizona had the bases loaded.
Score there.
Remember a ball game against the Cubs, I believe it was at Wrigley many years back, where the Rockies scored in every inning.
Arizona tonight 1-3-4-1 2-2-1. It's 9 of those runs came off of Drew Pomerantz and Alex White combined.
Jake Elmore's the pinch hitter for McDonald.
Jake Elmore, the second guy from Arizona State University to play for the Diamondbacks.
Willie Bloomquist is the first. 2 strikes on Elmore.
Back-to-back blocks for Rosario.
1-2. Elmore was a 34th round selection at ASU in 2008. And a ground ball to short. Elmore will get an RBI. And now they've scored in every inning but the second. 15-5.
Another pinch hitter.
Yeah, this is Mike Jacobs. Now, Jacobs was suspended from the Rockies, well, from baseball, but he was with the Rockies last year in Colorado Springs. First player suspended for HGH use. And he apologized and served his 50-game suspension. Arizona signed him. He was at Reno all year. Solid year at Reno. He's always had big pop. And he was, not surprisingly, very thankful that Arizona has given him the opportunity to get back to the big leagues. I'm sure it was the last place he thought he would end up again.
Well, some guys don't get a second chance. Josh Colementor, the right-hander for Arizona, former starter. Now on the pin.
Rutledge will lob it over, and Jacobs is retired. So there's a run on 2 hits in the 9th inning. 15-5 Arizona. Days ago, Aline Rosario, towering home run against Guillermo Cota in San Francisco's 25th of the year. That ties Todd Helton for the Rockies' rookie record for home runs. our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Ninth inning, bottom half of. Josh Colementer's now on the hill for Arizona. The Diamondbacks leading at 15-5. Rockies will have Rutledge, Pacheco, and Rosario. Here's the former starter, Josh Comenter. Guy learned how to throw a baseball by throwing hatchets. That's why he throws right over his head. Grew up in northern woods of Michigan.
Double-digit wins for Arizona and pitched in the playoffs. Struggled coming out of the gate. His struggle that started in spring training, and then they eventually moved him to the bullpen. Kirk Gibson had so much faith in him last year. He's not going to completely wash this guy away. He says there's a reason we made it to the playoffs. Well, one of the reasons.
1-0 on Rutledge. Josh has swung the bat well tonight. He has a double and scored a run in the first. He's lined out twice and also was hit by a pitch. Is that Elmore out there in right field?
That was Pollock, I believe.
Is that A.J. Pollock? Okay. Elmore's in. Where did Elmore go?
Cody Ransom is his
Elmore's
short.
at second. Ransom's at short.
Mike Jacobs at first. Will Nieves behind the plate.
Pacheco is at the plate. We know that much. And this is well hit right center field. Where Pollock's going to make that catch. 2 outs. And now Willeen Rosario. Fouled off into the upper deck. Three-hit ninth for Willeen, and that one ripped past Richie Dower.
Has his average to 264.
Will Nieves wanted that pitch up. Not that far up. Might have been high on Shaq. 1-2. And a pop fly to second base. And that's the ball game. The Arizona Diamondbacks with a relentless offensive attack, and I mean relentless. They scored in every inning but the second, where they left the bases loaded. 15 runs tonight for Arizona in beating the Rockies by a 10 spot. Wade Miley, the rookie, improves his opportunity perhaps for a postseason award. Wade Miley, 6 innings of 5-run baseball. He gets the victory. He's now 16-10. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Miguel Montero, another big night against the Rockies. Miguel with a 2-run double. He had an RBI single, 3 for 5 night. Career best 88 RBIs now for Montero. Losing pitcher for the Rockies is Alex White. Drew Pomeranz went 3 innings. He got a no decision. Again, the final score, the Diamondbacks win it 15-5 in game 1 of this 4-game set. We invite you to stick around. The Toyota postgame show is up next from here at Coors Field.